Welcome back to 1011 News at Noon. We're heading into one of the busiest travel weekends of the year, and with more motorists on our roads, John Leffler Jr. with the Nebraska Safety Council is joining us more to talk about the Make It Click seatbelt enforcement campaign.
Yeah, this is kicking off here this week and running through June 2nd. It's really a statewide effort that's a part of a larger national effort to really stress the importance of wearing your seatbelt. Buckling up is the single most effective thing you can do to protect yourself. And you know, a lot of accidents that occur will be happening, you know, within the first 10, 15, 20 minutes that you're driving, very, very close to home. So it's important that it becomes a habit before you pull out of the driveway, before you leave work, that you're buckling up and getting yourself, ready to go.
Yeah, and so what are seatbelt usage? Talk about what it's like across the nation and in Nebraska. Yeah,
well, fortunately for us, I mean, things have improved over the years. 91% across the nation are using their seatbelt. Nebraska, however, has one of the lower seatbelt usage rates. And it's important to note that nationwide in 2022, 50% of passengers that lost their lives in crashes were not wearing a seatbelt. There was that's the sobering fact. It again is buckling up is one of the single most effective things you can do to protect yourself. Not only if you're involved in a single vehicle crash, but also protecting yourself from others that are out on the road. That whether it be impaired drivers, aggressive driving, or anything that might put you in a situation where you're involved in an auto crash.
Right, and so as families maybe get ready to leave for Memorial Day weekend, why is it so important for parents to set a good example for their kids?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important that parents model safe behavior with their kids, and that includes seatbelt use. When adults fail to put on their seatbelt, seatbelt use by youth drops by 40%, and unfortunately the accidents that occur, there was 40% of those accidents where kids 14 and younger have lost their lives. This was some statistics from the past year or so. 40% of those kids that lost their lives were not wearing a restraint. So it's one of those things where you don't assume that your kid is wearing their seatbelt. Make sure you have a visual on that, make it click, make sure you hear that sound. But first and foremost, make sure you're putting on your seatbelt and showing that safe behavior for them.
Yeah, and then quickly, you had mentioned most accidents happen close to home.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, in the first few minutes that you're driving, a lot of time it's habit. So you're not thinking, you're not maybe alert or aware because it's the same roads that you travel every day. Within that first 30 minutes, that's really a lot of the time when these accidents will happen. To think about that in the first 3 minutes. They say a lot of this stuff happens close to home, but also the longer you're on the road, you do need to remain, vigilant and make sure that not only do you have your seatbelt on, but aware of all the traffic around you. It's one of those things that we're really trying to set the table right now as we head into a very, very busy time of the year to make sure you buckle up. It's the number one thing you can do to keep yourself safe.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, John.
Appreciate it, thank you.
We'll be right back with a final check of the forecast.